Tihomирova, and such a big of her thoughts is devoted to Ukrainian stock market.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my presentation. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Olga Tihomирova. As you can see, the title of my presentation is the Ukrainian stock market. But for my essay, I have chosen a narrow concept of the investigation, namely political factor influences the stock market performance. This concept was emphasized because of political changes topicality in the Ukraine last 10 years especially. Of course, I have to clarify a few points before I start. I'm going to analyze development of the stock market over a period of time from 2000 to 2009. And my presentation is based on the consideration of the separate political events, the PFTS index dynamics, and the foreign direct investments influence in Ukraine. Specifically, it has been suggested that policy uncertainty increases policy instability, which has negative effect on productive decisions. A high probability of a change of government implies uncertain future policies, so economic agents may avoid taking important economic decisions or might exit the economy, preferring to invest abroad. As my indicators of the stock market's prosperity, I define first Ukrainian security trading system index because it transacts a lion's share of agreement on security market in Ukraine, and PFTS index is the only acknowledged thermometer of the market, and it preciously shows the political and economic temperature of the Ukrainian securities market. On PFTS index is about 90% of foreign trade. And the next main indicator is the foreign direct investment. Ukraine has observed a steady surge of investment since the Orange Revolution of 2004. Investment in Ukraine is coming from many foreign countries, but it is the European Union that has been the source of the greatest amount of FDI into Ukraine. Indeed, investments coming from European Union member states account for approximately 75% of all FDIs into Ukraine. Different political events have different influence for the stock market performance. So, political events in my essay are divided according to their after effect character: political events with positive effect, with a neutral, and political events with negative effect. The main political events which took place during the observed period and could have, in my opinion, positive impact are tagged in green color and is accompanied by index growth, while political events which could have neutral impact are tagged in yellow color and doesn't have essential impact on stock market performance. Whereas political events with negative effect are tagged in red color and is accompanied by falling of PFTS index. To illustrate this, let's have a closer look to the graph, and it can be seen that parliament and presidential elections have positive impact on the stock market, while scandals and conflicts lead to the change in the situation on the stock market for the growth. The change of government, which is in the constitutional framework, contribute to the economic growth, while forced regime change might have a significant stimulative effect. Next. In my essay, I have investigated 3 periods of stock market, Ukrainian stock market performance and foreign direct investment inflow, and will represent but I have a limit of time and will represent performance from 2004 to 2007 years only. The first major investors have come to the Ukrainian market since the Orange Revolution, and in these 3 years, Ukrainian equity market has grown from one of the smallest, and FDI growth from 2004 to 2007 was about 300%. And this enormous growth of FDI and PFTS index is explained by the positive effect of the political events. It is related to several political reforms and presidential elections. A serious engine for the stock market was also the end of the race and stabilization of political situation in Ukraine. Even the appearance of political stability quickly led to the growth of Ukrainian stock market indexes, and the price of domestic securities is actually growing, sometimes even against performance of world stock exchanges. We have just looked at the links between political events, Ukrainian stock market index, and volatility of this index, and foreign direct investment inflow in Ukraine. So this brings me to the end of my presentation. So it was proved that the influence of political factor is one of the most important explanatory variables. And this is in line with my prediction that political instability is harmful for stock market development. Therefore, for improving performance of stock market, it should be stable political situation in the state. So thank you for your attention. I'm ready to answer your questions.
Thank you very much. So, what would be the next steps to do? Once more, there's limited time for preparing, there's limited time for presentation, there's always limited time. But to complete your analysis, what would be the next steps?
So I have just made a relationship between political events and this index, volatility of indexes, and the next step will be to do the research, and which will help us to complete with this problem.
But now you have the data, you have your analysis. What would be the technical way of analyzing your data?
I have used data from official sites which express PFTS index and chronological order of political events. So I composed.
And now to measure the influence, what would be the methodology? So the technique. What would be the technique, the analysis technique to measure the influence? So it has big or low influence, or how can we find statistical evidence?
So it can be some technique for this, because it can be calculated, this inflation.
Yes, we are going to ask figures. Anastasia to help us with some regressions.
No, it can be explained with only graphs and visual basic.
Yeah. So actually this kind of event study is a very powerful tool and quite well used in the literature. This is a perfect preparation to do this analysis. So next step will be to run some regression analysis, and I think during the next semesters you will learn that, and then you have a perfect bachelor thesis.
Of course.
Hopefully at my chair. Thank you very much. So that was my question.
I don't have any questions.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
For the presentations, and now we are having break for lunch, and we hope to see you at 1 o'clock when our next participants will present their presentations connected with application for master programs, for recommendation for